What do you think about this? Almost 60% of working adults say they want to change careers.
Wow.
That's 6 out of every 10 people. The majority, about 73% of them, are in their 30s, but they say they have no clue which career they'd rather be pursuing. Here's a look at the top reasons people want to switch jobs, according to the University of Phoenix. Topping the list, not making enough money.
I get that.
Yeah, that's followed by burnout and lack of opportunity. Interestingly, those making between $75,000 and $100,000 a year are actually the most likely to have lost interest in their field or to feel burned out.
They want a new challenge.
I guess so,
That's
right?
it.
They
That's
just
what
don't know
it's
what the challenge is.
They don't know what it is yet.
Start looking. More Michiganders are optimistic about the state's economic recovery.
According to a Michigan State survey, 60%, 6 out of 10 of residents say their financial situation is good or excellent. That's the highest rating that we've had here in Michigan since 2002. Now, even better, 69% of Michiganders believe they'll be even better off 1 year from now.
We are joined now by Professor Charles Ballard. He's MSU's State of the State Survey Director. Thank you so much for being with us, Professor. Bottom line here is Michigan's economy back?
Michigan's economy has been improving for 5.5 or 6 years, and so we're certainly headed in the right direction. We've gained almost 500,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate is down, and that's reflected in the survey numbers, showing that people are much more optimistic than they were about their financial situation. On the other hand, we're still 400,000 jobs below where we were at our peak back in 2000. So I guess I'd say that we've still got some ways to go.
All right, so what can we attribute this particular upswing that you said we've seen for the last 4 years?
Well, things bottomed out in 09 and 10, and then we've had fairly steady economic growth, both in terms of the size of the economy and in terms of jobs. And back in 6 years ago, we had, in some cases, only about 4 out of every 10 who said that their current financial situation was either good or excellent. Now we're all the way up to 60%, 6 out of 10. And as you said, that was the best in more than a decade in that reading.
Let's talk about that recovery and what people are saying there. Is it balanced, do you think? I know you said 60% are feeling better, but is there a group or 2 groups of people perhaps that are not doing as well as others? Did the survey indicate anything along those lines?
Well, we didn't ask about that specifically, but certainly my research as an economist and lots of evidence indicates that this has not been a balanced recovery. In fact, we have not had balanced economic growth in the United States for a very long time. Since the 1970s, if you're above the middle, you've done pretty well. And if you're way above the middle, you've done extraordinarily well. But the middle class and the lower income strata have not done well. In Michigan, if you adjust for inflation, the median household is right about where they were back in the mid-70s. Essentially no economic growth for those folks, even though the overall economy is a lot bigger than it used to be.
So what do we do, the forecast? We're all so used to being kicked here that I think we're a little nervous about the future. What is the official forecast in your view? Is it getting better? Is it going to stagnate? Are we going to start going backwards again?
Well, of course, forecasts are tricky. That's one reason why economists like the meteorologists, because they're the ones who make our forecasts look accurate.
Hey, come on now.
But, oh, sorry. But, you know, I think most of the forecasts do suggest that we're likely to continue with fairly decent economic growth. That doesn't fix these long-term problems, that there are a lot of people who haven't benefited a whole lot from the economic growth. But I think the economy is likely to keep growing in the near future. There are downside risks, but I'm cautiously optimistic about where we're going.
We've got less than 30 seconds left. How do you change things for the middle class and the lower middle class then?
Well, I think it's a whole bunch of things. One would be, I would be in favor of some increases in the minimum wage. For the longer term, I think nothing is more important than trying to improve educational opportunity, because if you don't have the skills that are required on the job, your job prospects and your wage prospects are just not going to be very good.
All right, Professor Charles Ballard, thank you very much for your time today and an optimistic forecast, and go green.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Spartan.
Thank
Go
you.
Green for sure.
Go white.
You. Yeah, thanks so much.